Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to our monthly update. Josh, Brian, welcome, guys.
Hey,
Well,
hey.
what's
Let us
going on?
know. Let us know if you can hear us tonight. We're going to be talking about everything from picks to the year-end event to maybe a little, maybe Brian's first treasury info. Talk about our exodus from Patreon, and then we're going to talk about Booker's auctioning the American Cancer Society bottle that was donated to us. We've got some updates for you guys on that. So lots of fun stuff coming off 2 picks last week. It was a really crazy, awesome week for everybody, I think, in the whiskey tube world. But we had our Green River pick first, which went awesome. You guys are going to freaking love that. It was really great to meet Top Dog in person. One of the things we did, we talked about when we started this organization was getting people on their first barrel pick. And it was really cool to have Ryan, who's a big Green River fan, on his first barrel pick. So he was super excited. It was really cool to have him on that. Earl was on that. And Narav came and helped pick our Green River pick. So that's the first pick he's been on to help with. So the pick team did an awesome job. You guys are going to absolutely love it. And then after that, we went to NBC. And what was really cool about that was just kind of walking into NBC, and, Dusty Dan and Josh and some other groups had a collaborative pick before. And it almost felt like you were walking into a family reunion or something, like seeing all these people that, you had seen online, but not in person, and just giving them a big hug. And it was really cool. So it was just all around great time. But Josh, I don't know how you felt in that pick, but it was awesome.
Yeah, I definitely felt the same way. I mean, I think NBC's slogan is like, "When you're here, you're family," or something. Is that right? Or am I
Something like that. Yeah.
confusing? Something like that. But anyways, yeah, no, it was a really great time. I mean, we got a great first bottle out of it, and we'll talk about this maybe a little more later if you want me to, or I could talk about it now. You tell
Let's go
me.
for it now. Yeah, go ahead and talk about
Okay.
it.
Yeah. So, by the way, I will say the Green River pick. I hope I wanted to be on that pick so bad, um, and couldn't quite make it. That's okay. I got to try the pick because Lance had a bottle of it, like a 200 milliliter flask, at the bottle share after the NBC pick. Absolutely awesome. Like it's high proof, high tier. This thing is like, it's not like any other Green River pick I've tried personally that I can think of. And their whiskey runs a spectrum, but pick team did an absolute killer job on that bottle. The NBC that we ended up picking, it was so funny because this is barrel 6138. This is the 5-year that they donated, which helps us out massively. Huge plus benefit to charity there. But when we were doing the pick, they had some barrels out, and in the earlier pick, we had tried some of these barrels as well, and then they put new barrels out. So like we got to try like 6 of these 5 years, and we're tasting through things, and we get to this one, which I think they positioned in the last spot on the pick, and we're all looking around each other like, whoa, all right, here we go. And I mean, I think it was unanimous. I'm almost sure it was. We had a bunch of people, so it might not have been, but the vast majority, if not everybody, picked this one. And then James, the barrel wizard there, he was like, I know these barrels pretty well. I could have just bottled that one before you guys even gotten here, before you ever got here. Like, I know what you like. And yeah, we could have just skipped all this. I could have just bottled it for you.
That's funny.
But yeah, it's great, man.
I love
It's
it
got,
more and more. When we were on the pick, like I wasn't getting necessarily all the fruit that I'm getting now on it, and the same with Green River. On the Green River pick, I wasn't getting any fruit, and because I have some of the sample left, and now I'm getting tons of fruit on it. So I don't know. I don't taste the same on picks as I do when I'm sitting in my house and with a Glen, but I think we made the right decision on both of those barrels.
oh yeah. So and the guys at NBC, they asked me. They said, we're donating the 5-year. Do you want to try any other stuff while you're here? And I was like, twist my arm, like I'm sure that I won't have to talk the group into that too hard. And so they were like, yeah, they just pulled some stuff out and let us try some stuff. And I basically just told them, like, if there's something here we can't say no to for a bonus barrel, then we'll pick it. But, we're just down to try some fun stuff, and we're going to be there hanging out. So, yeah, let's just have a good time. So they pulled out several barrels for us to try. And the bonus barrel that we picked, oh, it's so good. And Jeffrey Wack, if he's here in chat, I don't know if I saw him or not, but he said he tasted it next to our no, that was the Sonic Boom. But I actually think, like, the Sonic Boom and this one that we picked, they're both killer. This one, I think the group consensus from everybody, somebody correct me if I'm wrong here, Lance, if you think I'm wrong, or Kim, if you think I'm wrong on this. I think the group consensus was that the 8-year bonus barrel that we picked, of like all the group, we kind of had in our mind the standard that the first barrel that we did last year set. And we wanted to get something that could give it a run for its money. And I think the general consensus was that this one will. Now, we didn't have our other one there to taste side by side, so who knows? But boy, it's good.
Yeah, I was ready to. The first NBC pick was so freaking good, like one of my top 5 whiskeys ever, and I think it competes with BTAC. I mean, I just freaking love that bottle, and so I was fully going into this ready to be let down. And I really was. And then when we found a barrel that kind of had the same DNA as that first pick, I was super excited, man. It's you guys are going to want to try to get the 8-year. Now we're probably only going to have 120 bottles or maybe more, but it's going to be one you'll have to jump online and get. But we'll deal with all that when it comes.
And I think the thing to note, like, at least I didn't get it in the pick, but like, I almost get like this rum raisin thing on our first pick. This one doesn't have as much of that, but it's still got that dark fruit forwardness to it. And then it's just got the oak profile on this thing, and the development on the palate. It's a very experiential pour, as the first one was. And some of these, not all of this run of barrels are amazing. I've tried some that they're just good, but the ones that we picked from that, last year's and this year's, are just stupid good. And like G-Hawk was there. He can tell you how good that 8-year was. He said he thinks it will be an amazing blind with last year's. So,
yeah, I think so. I think what's going to amaze people more, though, when you guys taste this 5-year, if you do this in a blind, there is no way you will guess the age. And there is no way you will guess this is Tennessee. And it's not Dickel. We know that. But it tastes like a Kentucky bourbon. It just gets better and better. I freaking love it.
Yeah, it's like I keep spending time with it, and I get like this. It's almost got like a cocktail cherry forward note in it, which is what it leads with, and then underneath that, I said this last night on the board of directors meeting, but to me it kind of reminds me of, like, it doesn't quite have the dusty funk, but the flavor profile underneath the cherry note, and even kind of inclusive of the cherry note as well, reminds me of some of, like, when I've been in Louisville at Neat and I've tried some of like the old Anderson Club pre-Fire Heaven Hill things. That's the vision it puts in my head. And I'm not saying it's exactly the same, but like, it has that type of personality to it. And you guys are going to be like, there's no way this is 5-year Tennessee bourbon.
Whatever Nashville is doing, we've said it a million times. They just need to keep on doing it.
Yep.
Also a shout out to Kim's husband, Mark, because he was on the Green River pick and helped out. And he chose the right barrel too.
So, I know that us as whiskey nerds, we love to speculate about, what are they doing? What, are they rebarreling stuff? Is it really all original barrels, all this stuff? And I just came up with this analogy this week. I love analogies. I'm terrible at thinking of them and delivering them in the moment. I think this is a good one, though. When I go to a restaurant and have a really good meal, if the chef comes out and tells me where the ingredients are from, and he's like, I raised this cow on my farm and I slaughtered it, and here it is on your plate, and his name was Carl or something. I'm like, okay, cool. Carl's delicious. But, you know, if the chef doesn't do any of that and I'm still enjoying the meal and the meal's amazing, I don't really care. Like, it's still an amazing meal. And I think that's NBC whiskey. Like, they don't want to let you in on the secrets in the kitchen, but man, the meal's amazing.
But yeah, that's a good analogy. But I would like to know if James and Mike killed a cow too.
No cows were harmed in the making of any of this whiskey. I'm pretty sure.
So yeah, so if you guys want to pour that, I mean, I'm having the NBC 5-year right now. It's absolutely delicious. I do also want to give everybody an update on picks real quick. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, we're still waiting on that. I know Narav and A1 did like the first ever larceny pick, and they're still waiting on that. They did that pick around the same time as our Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. So it seems like it's taking a while, but sometimes Heaven Hill is not the quickest in getting those back to us. So we'll see how that goes. The Knob Creek Short Barrel, we have not got that back yet, but we did. I just got a call yesterday from Narav that they did get samples in, and we've got like, well, now less than 2 weeks to get that done. So I've got to drive down there tomorrow, get those samples, get it to board members who will do the pick. And if we don't have enough, I'll try to get one of you guys samples so you can help with the pick as well. But they only send us like 100 milliliter samples, so we don't have a lot to play with. We are still waiting to hear on the 2 Starlight picks we did at the year-end event. As you guys know, those are bonus picks. Those aren't membership picks. We've got the 2 NBC picks we talked about, the Green River pick. So there's a lot that's going to be coming in, kind of like last year. It's like Josh's analogy, another analogy that Josh uses, waiting for the plane to take off, and the plane's kind of taken off, and we're getting ready to land a bunch of these. So fall and the beginning of the year are always an awesome, exciting time. And then our 6th pick, we don't have locked down yet, but we're really, really close. So I don't want to tell you guys that until we for sure have it. And even if we for sure have it, we may not have it. So it's just how the barrel game works. And I apologize for that, but there's literally nothing I can do. In fact, I was going to do a Penelope Architect pick for my channel, and they sent me the samples. And then 2 days later, they called and they're like, "We sold the barrels." I'm like, what the hell? Why are you going to send me samples and then sell the barrels? So, you know, it's always something with barrel picks.
Yeah, it's I can't tell you guys how many times. I mean, if you've been involved in any of the whiskey channels that do picks, I mean, people will go do picks, barrels will get lost, barrels will get held hostage in distribution, like, because 2 people are arguing about something. Like, it's, yeah. I mean, the bottom line, I think, is that the board that we have, and I want to just take a second to, I love propping you guys up, the members, for making this possible and supporting and stuff. But, you know, hats off to Narav, hats off to Lance and the board as a whole for being dedicated to viewing this as what we do as a service to you guys, the members, you know, in service of both you guys getting good whiskey and in service of the bigger cause of raising money for charity. You know, this is, at the end of the day, it is just whiskey, and we're going to get the picks in, and they're going to get to you guys. We certainly wish we had a lot more control over the process than we do. But, you know, we're so much at the mercy of distillers or distilleries and distributors. And yeah.
What is it like on dodgeball? We just dodge, dip, duck, and dive.
yeah. That's the way it feels sometimes.
But yeah, and it's not, you know, obviously it's Narav and obviously Josh with his connections with NBC. Dusty Dan's working on with his connections for this last pick. So it's all of us as a whole just trying to work our connections and try to get you guys the best barrels possible. It's definitely not easy, I'll tell you that. So, but we got a good crew. If Kim, I know Kim's at an event, so I want to kick this over to Kim so she doesn't have to wait too long. But Kim, do you have any like year-end event updates for us?
Sure. So we are working diligently on planning an awesome year-end event for next year. We are looking at dates in June and July, so still TBD. We are currently looking at locations in Nashville. Now, that is not final, but that is where we are currently exploring some potential locations. We're also looking at doing it a bit differently this year. So, we're focusing on a Saturday night dinner and event and presentation and giving of the checks and kind of the pinnacle of this past event. But we're really focused on that Saturday night event and a ticket for that event. So that will bring ticket prices down quite a bit from the full weekend last year. So in addition to that, because we would expect people to want to come in for a weekend, we'll also look at doing things like a bottle share on Friday night that doesn't add anything to a ticket price. We might look at doing some other either add-on ticket events or some hangs at some locations where it's kind of pay your own stuff while you're there. Yes, Josh is pushing NBC pretty hard, and Mike mentioned it when we were there last week. So we're looking at trying to make it a fun weekend, but reduce the ticket price and focus on what I think everyone was so appreciative of last year, which is all around our charities and giving.
Yeah, that's exciting. I think you guys, Kim's obviously amazing. She's doing amazing things, and she's always got fantastic ideas. And what she's proposed for the Saturday night event, I'm super excited for. So,
and we are still working through details. So
yeah.
We'll see. And I apologize. I have a bunch of guests here at Bent Distillery for a Bourbon Women event, and I'm going to go make sure I can say goodbye to them before everybody leaves. But I wanted to come on to see you all.
It's good to see you.
Good to
Thank
see you.
Thank you. Love you all.
Love you. Cheers.
Thanks for all you do.
Yeah, more fun, lower ticket prices. It's all around win, I think.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, what we're talking about, like, it might seem like a reduction in all the things, but like there's still going to be a lot of stuff going on. It's just going to be more of you get to pick and choose what you want to do. We might even be able to accommodate a lot more people at some of the general ideas that we have. Like if we get to drop into NBC and have some kind of event there, we can have a much larger crowd there than we might be able to have at Pursuit, for instance, or Southern Collective Spirit Company here in town has an absolutely awesome setup over there, and it would be great to drop in there. So we're going to be working with some local places if Nashville gets locked down, to make it a really fun experience for everybody that's here. And you can kind of just come and go as you please to the events that we're working on setting up. I have the benefit of being here in town, so I have a lot of personal connections, and that, can open some doors for us to be able to do some fun things. Yeah. And then the Saturday night thing last year, it was all like, it was kind of a cocktail hour and then the sit down dinner and event. We're looking at making that more of an event this year. Like, there will still be the presentations and all that stuff. But yeah, Kim has got some really good ideas on how to spice this up a little bit and make it a ton of fun. So
heck yeah. Yeah, and have all that good whiskey from the bottle shares at the actual event, which would be amazing.
That's a big one right there. Yeah. For the best options at the actual event last year were like Four Roses Small Batch, which is what I ended up drinking, and Maker's Mark, because that's what they had at the bar.
Yeah.
We can have our own whiskey there. We can BYOW. So
yeah, I remember Mike with NBC was like, "What are you drinking?" I was like, "It's a Maker's Mule. Do you want one?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "It's not that good, but I'll go get you one." So, all right. So with that, let's bring Brian in, and Brian gets to talk about all the fun stuff. And we've got like 30 to 35 people jumping in and out of this. So we're going to have to, I apologize for all the posts you're probably going to see from us in the upcoming weeks about our Patreon exodus, but we've got to communicate to everybody and make sure that everybody knows what's going on. So with that, I'm going to kick it over to Brian, and he can fill us in on as much as he wants to.
Thanks, Lance. Yeah, just a real quick high-level update. We are working through the logistics of that switch from Patreon to QuickBooks billing. We're planning, as of right now, for a November cutover to that. We will have much more details on our next live stream, so please plan to jump on that. If you cannot attend that live stream, please plan to rewatch that. And as Lance mentioned, there's going to be a lot more communications coming out leading up to that, because there will be action items for you to take to make that a seamless cutover. So again, more to come on that front, but we're working through those logistics again to make that as seamless as possible for everybody. Lance, anything else to add to that? I do have one quick housekeeping item, but anything on the Patreon front?
No, I mean, there's not a whole lot we can tell you guys right now, but
Yeah.
we're getting really close to making it happen. We've just got to tie up a few loose ends before we actually go forward with it. But nobody will be left behind. We will make sure, as long as you're, we've told people over and over again, if you're on Patreon, like, you need to get on Discord, because that's going to be our main source of communication. We'll probably do an email list too, but Discord is where you're going to find all your stuff. So we can't be posting in a million different places. We've got to make this as easy as possible for us. So I apologize for those of you that don't want to be on Discord. I get it, but it's really a good platform for what we're doing, a way to communicate. And the good thing about it is, it's not like our Discord isn't like overrun with 20,000 people. So you're not getting blown up constantly where you can't keep up. It's a good manageable number, I feel like. So if you're worried about that, don't hop onto Discord so that we can communicate with you guys. Because it's gonna take all of us to keep this thing going, make sure we get everyone transferred over. Brian is definitely the right guy for the job. He has already been, like, in our meetings, telling us things and bringing up things that, of course, I would have never thought of. I won't speak for Josh, but I definitely wouldn't have. So we're just trying to get all our I's dotted and T's crossed before we roll it out. But it's going to save us. We've told you guys this. It's going to save us $12,000 a year in fees, and that's why we're doing it. So it's going to be worth it in the end. It's just going to be a little tedious and a little cumbersome to start, but we'll get through it.
Yep. Quick housekeeping item. Wish that I didn't have to make, but if you have an outstanding invoice, please pay it. There's a handful of y'all that do have some outstanding items that have lingered for far too long. Please don't make me be the bad guy. Just go ahead and pay those. That's it. Just please pay them. Thank you.
Yeah, and we understand if you're not sure, feel free to email us. Maybe your email got lost, and that's perfectly understandable. But we're getting to a point where we're going to have to draw a line in the sand, and we don't want to have to remove people from Barrels for Hope. But these were extra bottles, so you guys agreed that you wanted those. So I assume that you knew you had the budget for it. But maybe your just emails got crossed, and that's not a big deal at all. Even if you need, maybe something came up, life instance happened, and you need help resolving it, just send Brian an email, and that's fine too. We'll get it worked out for you guys. We don't want to be the bad guy. We'll let Brian be the bad guy, but
and communication is better than no communication. So
exactly. Yep. We will work with you, but yeah, let's get those cleaned up. Thanks, y'all. And
it's really just like 3 or 4. So it's nothing crazy, but we just want to get them cleaned up. So
yeah.
All right.
That's all I had.
That's all you had?
That's it.
All right. So if anybody's got questions up to this point, feel free to post them. I haven't really seen anything in chat unless I've missed it, but we're getting close to the Q&A part. But I also wanted to tell you guys about our auction that we're going to do through Give 270. I think most of you know, but some of you may not. First of all, I want this out of my hands so I don't break it or somebody doesn't come over and accidentally open it. But this is the little book signed by Freddie No that was donated to us by American Cancer Society, where 4 women that work at the distillery who had breast cancer worked on this blend. It's finished in sherry casks. I can't remember the ages. I might be able to find out for you guys. Nope, I'm not going to be able to read that without my glasses. It's tiny, but there are some old vintages in there. I didn't even know that that little book did that kind of thing. I didn't know they had those kinds of bottles. So for Tom with ACS to donate that to us was really amazing. He's going to be on our live stream on October 30th. That's when our next live stream to you guys is going to be. And Tom will be on. He will talk about that bottle, talk about American Cancer Society. As you guys know, we're supporting them again this year. The same charities we supported last year, we're going to support this year. We're going to run this through Gift 270, so everything's above board and we're doing everything properly. We're going to do 100 tickets. There will be 100 raffle tickets at $50 per ticket. And the reason we wanted to do that is we didn't want to just, we didn't want this bottle to just go with somebody with the deepest pockets. We wanted everybody to have an equal shot at it since it is such an amazing, unique bottle. So we're going to release the tickets to the $65 tier for, what did we decide, for a week, I think. And then if the $100 tickets are not sold out, then we'll release it to the $5 tier. And if they're not sold out, then we'll open it up to, maybe Jason's group with Mash and Drum, our Patreon channels, whatever. We'll see what happens. But hopefully we can get the 100 tickets sold. That would be $5,000 to charity, which would be amazing. And somebody is going to get an amazing, very unique bottle. So I'm really excited about that.
And Lance, you were saying last night, like that blend, like that product only exists with the American Cancer Society. Like this isn't something they just do for anybody. It is a incredibly unique and incredibly rare thing. And there's not a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
So makes it very cool.
It's going to be cool. I know I'm going to buy 1 or 2 tickets. We'll see how many my wife lets me buy.
Yeah. And the good thing is it all goes to charity. So
yeah, exactly.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So Tom will be on, but that was pretty awesome of them to donate that to us. It was awesome of NBC to donate an entire barrel. So I don't know if we touched on it, but when we release this 8-year, I'm sure we'll sell out of it, but I really, to support NBC for their big hearts, I really want to sell out of that if we can. I'm sure we'll have no problem selling out of it, but I want to support those guys since they have such big hearts. They make amazing whiskey and they're big fans of ours. So.
Absolutely.
Have you guys seen any questions? I think we've been rolling. We haven't had too many questions lately, so I assume that's a good thing.
A couple things to note in chat. So Mike Ackley has a couple of things. So for anybody interested in more charity endeavors, he mentioned October the 6th is coming Sunday. This is entirely to benefit To Write Love on Her Arms, which is the mental health charity organization that we support here through Barrels for Hope as well. Prior to Barrels for Hope even existing, Aaron and I did an annual fundraiser with the community for To Write Love on Her Arms. And we've raised about $15,000 each year for them through that. And so this Sunday is our next one. We're going to be live streaming over on the Stuff and Whiskey channel. And we got a bunch of bottles up for grabs for just, raffle, random draw. And there's some live auctions that are going down on some pretty prized bottles as well. So it's worth checking out if you want to, throw a few more dollars to Write Love directly. It all goes through GoFundMe and PayPal's Giving Fund. It's all on the live stream in the video description. You can check that out. But just a great way to, again, more money for charity. Just like the little book raffle tickets. And we're always looking for these opportunities, these good spots where we can use our platform to do some good and put some good back out into the world. That's Whiskey Karma and that's Life Karma. And we appreciate you guys being such an integral part of that. Mike also asked about a yearly financial report. That's a great question. We had not talked about that because we were worried about getting Reggie and Brian and the transfer of all the things and getting Brian up to speed. So that is definitely something that we should be looking into, and we will look into. Thank you for the reminder on that, Mike.
Yeah, for sure. We can. I mean, we'll get that worked out, but that's something we definitely want to bring to you guys. I mean, we have nothing to hide. We donated our 40,000 to charity last year. It was I don't remember the balance at the end of the year, but it was not as we didn't make that goal as easily as we thought we would. There are a lot of logistical challenges to running this thing, which is why nobody else has done it. I'm quickly finding out. There's a reason there aren't many barrels for hopes around.
But the big benefit, and again, well, let's just say, like, it doesn't happen without you guys. It also doesn't happen without Narav. It flat out doesn't happen without that. Like, we work as hard as we want to. It ain't happening without Narav, and it ain't happening without y'all. So, we were, Reggie kind of told us, he's like, we can do 40, that we can do that. That's the goal. Can't do any more than that. But, we're really off to a really great start this year with the 4 Roses single barrel that we sold. That raised several $1,000s more for charity, which we're going to be trying to use as a point for why we should get another 4 Roses pick next year, with 4 Roses, if at all possible. And then we had the bottle auction at the year-end event, which raised thousands of dollars, almost $10,000 or over that, I think even. And then the donation of the NBC barrel, that's one less barrel that we had to purchase this year. And barrels are very expensive. So, all these things put us in a much better position. Well, and I think Joe's not here. He's busy opening a distillery, or trying to, through all the red tape that the state's putting him through. But I think one of his points, as we were really getting up and going, was the more we establish ourselves as a organization that has the heart that we do, you guys having the heart that you do for the mission that we're after, and it gets on people's radar. Like, it was already on National Barrel Company's radar, and they were at the year-end event, and Mike was like, hey, I knew you guys were doing some stuff, and we're hearing everything. We came to the event. He's like, I didn't really fully realize, because he's got stuff going on. And for him to see it, he's just like, I just want to donate a barrel. And the more we do, and the longer we stay established like we are, that sort of stuff's only going to happen more and more. And it's just going to benefit the organization more and more.
Sorry, Top Dog thought I opened the Freddie No Booker. No.
It'd be hilarious if you accidentally did. Uh-oh.
Could you imagine? It scares me, man. It freaks me out. I want this thing out of my house. Yeah, but you're exactly right, Josh. When we got our 501c3 status, that you could tell things changed a little bit for the way people viewed us. So while we're getting all these things too, I want to be clear that we have to forecast, or try our best to forecast, the future in an unknown world, if that makes sense. So, while we have money from 4 Roses, while we're going to get money from Little Book, while we're going to get, whatever, we don't know what next year holds. We don't know if some barrels we're going to have to pay MSRP for rather than get them at cost. Those things can happen if we need a barrel at the last minute. So what we've learned with this year is we were lucky enough that NBC donated us a barrel, that we had the 4 Roses. So we had that extra cushion in our account. It's nice to go into the next year with that cushion for all the unknowns that are going to that are just for sure going to happen. So just because we have X amount of dollars in our account doesn't mean we're going to donate all of that to charity. We probably need to make sure that we have a cushion there to keep this thing going in case something will go off the rails, and we want to be able to be prepared for that. So,
yeah, and as the bourbon engineer, dear friend of mine, as he has often said, operating costs have to be factored in always, because if we don't have enough margin to cover the picks that we're picking, then we're in trouble.
Right.
Turns out they don't give you barrels if you can't pay for them. So. I do
Yeah.
want to say G Hawk said he thought the 8-year that the bonus barrel we picked would, rival last year's, and it'll be a fun blind. Jason Crute in the chat was also there for the pick, and he said that 8-year was spectacular. So, yeah, she good.
Yeah,
This
sure.
5-year, man, I can't get enough of this 5 years. So, typically NBC for whatever reason, their barrels do tend to yield pretty high numbers, like it's 170 to 190 or 160 to 190 is not uncommon, and we need like, truthfully, we need like a 155 yield. I think we had a 158 yield on this. We had like 3 bottles left over.
Yeah, 158 is what we had. Yeah, it was close. When they brought out the pallet, I was like, oh no, that's not enough. And I forgot, I didn't realize, like, normally when you get NBC cases, they're 6 in a case. And they had put ours in 12 in a case, because I was quickly doing the math, which I'm not good at. And I was like, oh no, this is not good. But I think we're all good. We're all good. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about anything, now's the time. If we can answer it, we will.
And I guess I bring up that yield number too, because I was going to say the only bad thing about this 5-year is that there's not more, so that I can buy another one. Like,
I know, there's no backups.
Yeah, I'll be bidding on one of those at next year's year-end event. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, let us know. Lance, you want to tell people about that Booker's Reserve? Oh
my gosh. I'm not like the craziest Booker's fan, but this bottle is so good, man. I love Booker's when I also get fruit notes, and it's got some of that fruitiness in it. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're still talking peanutty flavor, but it's got those berry notes that I just freaking love. And it's most Bookers, we were saying at the bottle share, I think one of the things I'm not crazy about Booker's sometimes is it fights me too much and kicks me around the room a little too much. This thing is dangerously crushable, and it's 126 proof basically.
Yeah, I got to try it at the bottle share, and I was very surprised at how good it was.
Yeah.
It's a worthy one to look for, Ryan. It's a worthy bottle to search out.
It should be on your hunt list. That, and even though Top Dog is crazy and doesn't like Disco 12, Disco 12 should be on your search list too. That bottle is good.
Disco 12 is a buy on site bottle, guys.
Yeah.
It's killer.
What's the max you would pay, Josh, for Disco 12?
I mean, it sells here for 160, and I've got to pay for gas and to get to the store, and I got to pay sales tax. So I'm not getting out of the door for under 180 at the end of the day for one, by the time we pay our sales tax here. So, would I pay that? Yeah.
My area just got Disco 11, if you can find it. But yeah, I wasn't nearly as thrilled about 11 as a lot of people were, and it has not blinded well for us. Disco 12 is a monster. Yeah.
The top Dog likes Malort. Is that true? Is that a true statement, or is he just messing with him?
It might be a Chicago thing.
Oh, he's got
roots up there.
Chicago thing. That's like pledge feet. It's awful. Lemon pledge feet is what Malort is.
I'll tell you what, the finish on Malort is so long. A lot of bourbons could take note.
Yeah, you cannot get rid of that taste.
Yeah. Only the most special bourbon bottles can rival Malort's finish, at least in length. I just can't get over these NBC picks, man. And I cannot wait for that Green River. Having gotten to taste it, I was already excited about it, but now having gotten to taste it, I'm so excited about it.
I was drinking it during our board meeting last night, and it is good, man. It's really good. In fact, I had another Green River pick that I think clocked in at like a little over 130 proof, and I liked ours better. But they were close, but ours is just so concentrated.
Mm-hmm.
And it drank below its proof, I thought. So I'm
Yeah.
excited for people to get that one. I don't think we
All
got
right.
anything else, guys. I think we're good.
Going once, going twice. Any questions? Better get them in quick. Lance, are you streaming tonight?
No, I'm only going to stream once a month now. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I like a good once a month stream. That's what we do.
You got it.
Although
You guys got it right. It's too much going every week. It's for
yeah.
me.
Well, we do it publicly. I pretty much stream every week over on Patreon, but it's
okay, cool.
It's way different. Aaron's like, you get me once a month on streams. That's it. The rest of the time is just me nerding out and being a goofball.
Yeah, I just more am doing it like, there's enough collected throughout the month where I can have a good stream, and then it just helps cut down on the amount I drink. So, rather than doing tasting 8 to 15 picks every Thursday night, that's just too much, man.
Yeah, I never get in more trouble than on streams.
Well, because we're doing our Halloween stream, and me and the guys. I mean, the things we're dressing up as, it's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be so much fun, and we're going to get out of control that night for sure.
There you go. Good stuff. All right, guys. Thank you. As always, Terry saying Greenbrier lunch was great as well. Man, I wish I could have made that too.
Greenbrier restaurant was really good.
What'd you get? Do you remember?
What's the French word for like ham and cheese? It's like
croque madame.
Yeah, that's it. We got that.
Yeah.
But they used fried bologna, which was great.
Oh, yes, dude. Fried bologna.
Yeah, and then we got some deviled eggs and
their deviled eggs are good.
They're good. Yeah. Yeah, it was a good time.
So Gary's getting a question in at the wire here. Realistically, we can see shipments when October when's the NBC shipping, Lance?
NBC is shipping October 12th. So you'll have NBC by Halloween. Great question, Gary, because I did not say that. So if anybody wants to come help on October 12th, 10 a.m. at A1, that's when our shipping party is going to be. I'll post that in Discord. So you guys will have those. Actually, we package them on the 12th. They don't actually go out till that Monday or Tuesday. Depends when they come get them. But by the end of that week or the beginning of the next week, you should have them. So you'll have them by Halloween. And then I don't know when the 8-year NBC pick will be available. Did they say, Josh?
I was up there on Monday and they were dumping it this week. So as soon as they get it dumped and bottled, which it's Thursday now, it's probably either happened or is in the process of happening right now. It'll go online and then it will figure out what the yield is and we'll get in touch. And if we have to run a randomizer, we will. Hopefully the yield is a lot of times those barrels will yield as much as we need for everybody to get a bottle. Some people could even get 2 bottles. So we'll put a poll, be looking out while we're still on Patreon. We're going to utilize its tools. So be looking out on Patreon for a poll. As soon as we get a yield count on that, we're going to get a poll up to see who's interested in buying 1 or 2 of those bottles. And you should be able to order it. And you may very well have that one by the night before Halloween, the next time we stream. You might have that one as well. And then the bonus Starlights, any day now. I mean, this is I run through this all the time with our barrel picks. It's like, we could get word tomorrow. We could get word next week. We could get word 3 months from now. We don't really know. Kind of the same for
at least ECBP. Through. Who is that going? Who's Starlight going through? Josh, is that
Sealbox? So
I've heard some. I think like Dusty Dan did one. I don't know if he went through Sealbox, but I know those have been taking a while. I don't know why, but they have.
Yeah, we did Starlight last year, and it took a while. They also did lose it, and we had to get some stuff swapped around. But yeah, those should be realistically any day, any week, any month now. Same for ECBP. It's very likely that you're going to get NBC in October, probably get NBC in October. I may have just said that. ECBP in probably November or December, hopefully. When we get this Knob Creek pick done, we got the bonus Knob Creek. There's going to be a few bottles that we can at least, make available to people. I think the count's like, was it Lance, like 35 or 40 or something?
It's like 40, 45 maybe. It's not a lot. I can't even believe that barrel's that short.
Yeah. So when those
Green
come
River,
in,
yeah, Green River might come pretty quick though. I honestly wouldn't be shocked if Green River gets here before Elijah Craig Barrel Proof.
it could, yeah.
Who knows?
It's gonna be a lot like year one, where, and I'm not terribly mad at it, and hopefully you guys understand the logistical challenges we face on our back end here. Weird statement. The logistical challenges that we face on the other side of the equation with distribution and all that.
That was at 46.23.
Yeah.
I just
that's
needed
different.
to clip it.
That's we're not getting into colonoscopy talk here. So, but like last year, this kind of happened as well. We had a lot of stuff come out in the summer, kind of middle of the summer, and then we had a little bit of a gap, and then it was just like a pick every month. And I feel like Lance probably was like, yeah, I remember having to go down there and ship everything every month. It's slating to be much the same this year. And I don't know if that's a distribution thing or what, because like for separate and apart from Barrels for Hope, like Stuff and Whiskey picks, the exact same thing happened. Like we had picks all the way up till July, like July the 2nd, and then it's just been a gap. Distribution just decided, I don't know.
Well, I think
I
think that's definitely the flow of things, because distilleries, like we're finding out with this 6th pick, like you get into fall and distilleries are winding down their picks for the year and they're not selling a lot of barrels. So then once January hits, everything starts kicking loose again, and then you got to wait for them. Mm-hmm. But like right now, locking down our 6th pick is not easy. And at the place we're talking to is like, yeah, we're only doing a couple left this year. They're special barrels and we're only giving them to a few people. So yeah, it's, I think that's just the flow of it. We got to get all those picks locked up before October,
Yeah.
But the hard part is you get one locked down, like Ben Holiday, and then they call you and they're like, oh yeah, well now you're moved to 2025. We can't fulfill it. And you're like, gosh, dang it. We thought we were in excellent shape.
Right. Exactly. So it goes. Or they send you samples and then sell your barrels 2 days later, whatever. It's awesome. Terry's talking about that burger over at Nelson Greenbrier. Yeah, I usually get the burger. The burger is very good. Yeah, the only thing I don't get there is the egg salad sandwich. They're trying to be like Willet with that, and they just can't.
Yeah, you can't do that.
No.
You can't do that. And the last time I had the egg salad sandwich at Willet, it got better than the previous time I had it. They improved it.
Jason says, may get a better barrel anyways by waiting. Hey, yeah. I'm very much an everything for a reason type of guy, and things you do usually tend to work out. We talk about bourbon karma all the time. We got a lot of bourbon karma on our side. We're doing good things, and it seems like places are taking notice of that, and we're getting some really good barrels from it. And then Top Dog did say, just to let everybody know, his house is for sale. I'm assuming it's probably because of neighbor problems, because the bourbon engineer said he cooks those possums on the half shell when he drinks Malort.
Wait, are they neighbors?
Yeah, next door neighbors.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. Oh my God.
It's awesome. It's like I wish I was less busy so I could just go over there and hang out. They do Fire Pit Fridays, and it's literally like you're inside of an episode or like inside of a movie of grumpy old men. And they're just going back and forth at each other. It's amazing. I'm not sure who's Mathau and who's like. You guys can fight over who's who.
Top Dog. Those whiskey tubers. They love Disco 12. They're crazy.
Top Dog just said it's like a grumpy old man. Bourbon engineer. He's in my garage now. That sounds like a pest problem.
Yeah. Bourbon Engineer's wife's like, this guy won't leave.
Yeah, they're the best. They're the best.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And shout out to those guys too. I mean, they made a lot of the like the handmade things for the
Hold on.
auction.
I was gonna give Bourbon Engineer a shout out. Hold on.
Yeah. Him and Top Dog made a lot of those things. So I call them crafty SOBs.
I was gonna put this on Discord today, but yeah, Bourbon Engineer made these for everybody that was on the pick, which is just such a nice, cool thing to do.
Yeah, little Glen holder.
Yeah, that was a really nice thing for him to do for everybody that was on that pick. So,
yep, absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you as always for being a part of this. It's crazy. I mean, we got no breathing room after we finished our year in event 1. We're already, every meeting we talk about event 2 for year 2, and it's just like it's there's still a part of it that feels surreal, but it definitely feels more concrete after the event last year. And and Brian, again, I want to just take my hat off to Brian for he is on the treasurer role. He is, like I say, he's bringing up stuff we didn't even know we needed to be asking about. So the transition has gone really well there. And just happy to have you on board again, brother. And great to have all you guys here. This is just so, I mean, like I wear my Barrels for Hope stuff with great pride. And hopefully you guys do too, which is a good plug for the fact that we have merch over on the website. Be sure to check it out.
Yeah. And huge thanks to Josh and Aaron for getting that all set up on there. So I don't even think anyone noticed. So that there was a little bit of down time. Not that was a lot. I didn't notice. So you guys did awesome.
Yeah. I think it was just one day.
That's pretty awesome.
But
all right.
Yeah, rocking and rolling.
All right, guys. We love you very much. Cheers to all of you. Thanks for helping make this possible. We're excited to bring you guys some awesome picks coming up. Talk to you guys later.